All right, we're going to be talking about the NFL Combine here. This is Marcus Nice Football Dads. We do pretty much almost daily videos during the week here, every single week. And so we're going to be talking about the quarterbacks here, and then we're going to be talking about some future positions along with the week. And then at the end of the week, we'll probably do a updated mock draft, whether it's super flex or regular. Haven't figured that out yet. Probably going to be super flex. We're going to be talking about a couple quarterbacks here. The big names, I guess you're going to say CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and Anthony Richardson. And so the biggest thing we're going to start off with, we're going to start with Anthony Richardson at the end. So we're gonna have CJ Stroud. 6'3", 214 pounds. His stock didn't really move up or down after this combine, really. So he looked pretty good, looked surgical out there when he was doing some of the passing drills. It's what you want to see. But again, CJ Stroud not really moving up or down. The biggest thing is Bryce Young. And so CJ Stroud, again, a quick, okay, he's still my number 2 ranked quarterback, barely behind Bryce Young. But man, that gap is definitely thinning because Bryce Young, 5'10", 194. And when we look at Bryce Young, 5'10" is what we were hoping for. He's not 5'11", he's not 6 feet tall. That height is going to be a big if factor there. It really is. We are looking at a quarterback that is going to be extremely undersized, but is going to be drafted in the top 3-4 picks. And so ultimately, that is going to be an extremely, extremely hard person to want to have 100% confidence in. And so Bryce Young, again, my number 1 ranked quarterback. This is going to be extremely, extremely difficult to figure out. Do I take him? Do I take Jahmyr Gibbs? There's size concerns on even Jahmyr Gibbs that we're going to talk about tomorrow. There's a little bit of size concerns, even though that he blew the 40 out of the water. But yeah, Bryce Young, 5'10", 194, smaller hands. It's like, man, some of the analytics, you could say, just don't like those things. But again, Bryce Young succeeded at college at Alabama. He was a very, very good quarterback. And it does have some mobility, runs right around that 4.8 40. And so not super slow, but you're not looking at some super speed. The biggest name I want to talk about, and we're going to probably talk about him for a couple minutes here because it is somebody that I talked about pre-combine that is going to have the widest margin of variability. And that was even before the combine. And now it looks like this person, Anthony Richardson, could absolutely skyrocket. 4.4340. We are talking about a guy who is 6'4", 244 pounds. 244 pounds. That is bigger than Jonathan Taylor and as fast as Jonathan Taylor. He is bigger than defensive ends and faster than some defensive ends. You're talking about a 244 pound quarterback that is fast. And it has a wonderful arm. Now look at 40.5-inch vertical, a 10.4 9-inch broad jump. He's just shattering records. Anthony Richardson is going to be the hardest prospect to gauge. And when I said that he could go anywhere from pick 5 to 13, depending on draft capital, I'm actually wrong on that. It is not 5 to 13. It is 2 to 13. He could be the number 1 quarterback taken. And that is because of his mobility. It is because of his fantasy upside. You look at Anthony Richardson with being 6'4", 244 pounds and having that type of speed, you are talking about a quarterback that fantasy-wise could be something we just never have seen. We're talking about Cam Newton, but fast. And we know what Cam Newton did fantasy-wise. Anthony Richardson could be the best fantasy quarterback. Maybe not the best NFL quarterback, but the best fantasy quarterback out of this draft class. It is going to be really hard, especially if Anthony Richardson, which I think will be a top 10 quarterback. I could easily see him go pick 7, 8, somewhere around there. I could see him be, if you have him at pick 7, going somewhere, let's just say Carolina or Atlanta or Indy or whatever, some quarterback. And then you have Bryce Young that goes to Houston. It is going to be extremely difficult to say, hey, I'm not gonna take Anthony Richardson. I'm not gonna take the athletic freak. We talked about Malik Willis a lot last year on how I did like parts of Malik Willis. I just didn't like his throwing. Anthony Richardson's a lot better thrower. Yes, he has some huge inconsistencies, but Anthony Richardson's even a better, by far and away, a better fantasy outlook than Malik Willis. It is going to be extremely, when you have somebody that is this athletically gifted and the Underwear Olympics and wins the Underwear Olympics, it is going to be very, 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 very hard not to say, man, Anthony Richardson, why is he not a top Why does he not repeat what Jalen Hurts did? I mean, Jalen Hurts, a very mobile quarterback, very inconsistent passer. Why can't he do that at the next level? And look what Jalen Hurts. Yes, he's had the weapons and he's improved in his passing, but why can't Anthony Richardson do that? And why can't a team build around him in the next couple of years? And 2-3 years down the road, you go, oh man, Anthony Richardson, a first round, top 8, top 7 startup pick in Superflex. Also, you could end up having somebody that gets more towards the Malik Willis aspect, where extremely athletically gifted and just doesn't bring it on the NFL field, and then it ends up being a disappointment. Anthony Richardson, I feel like my brain is going to explode trying to figure out what in the world to do with him, because he is so risky. He is so it could be a huge reward. I mean, I just don't know. If you are a team that has multiple firsts, Anthony Richardson might be your pick, because he is the perfect gamble to know that you might get nothing, but you might get that top 5 super flex type of quarterback, and they don't just happen. CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, much safer, but their upsides aren't top 3. They will never. I will put money on it that I don't think either one will ever be a top 3-4 startup quarterback. They just don't have that upside, but I also don't think that they're going to have the level of like drop off where I don't think they're going to be middle quarterback 2s. I don't think they're going to be stuck into the Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr sphere. I think they're better than that. So what do you do with Anthony Richardson? Let me know what you would do with Anthony Richardson, because I have no idea. I don't have no idea. My brain is hurting looking at 6'4", 244 and running at a 4.4 40. It's like, wow. Man, Terrell Pryor. He could be Terrell Pryor. All right. I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk about running back some more.